Hi, welcome to Ditzy's Diamond Inn. Today we are going to be working on my whip and chat um, for the Drills and Chills 2003, which is put on by Katie and Lindsay. So today what we are going to be talking about is mental health and how our fur babies. So I don't know about you guys, but this is my DP buddy, Ollie. And so today I'm going to talk to you about how Ollie helps my mental health. Hopefully, you'll chime in with the comments about your fur babies, DP buddies, and let me know how they help you. So let's go ahead and get started on this whip, guys. Mm. Let's put him in his bed. Okay, so we are all set up and here with Harry Potter Night Flight. So let's talk a little bit about Ollie. So I have anxiety disorder, and I also have depression and post traumatic stress disorder. I require so much assurance, the needing to be loved, and needing to be cuddled and touched and just filled full of love. Very, very, very needy person I am. My husband, on the other hand, who is so supportive of my mental health journey, he is so incredibly supportive of any habits that might help me with my disabilities. He is amazing, but he also has claustrophobia. So he has a really hard time with long bouts of intimacy with cuddling, holding hands, or anything where he just starts to feel a little bit suffocated. Um, so a very long time ago, because Ollie will be 16 on February 5th, 15th of 2024, he got me Ollie, thinking that that would give me somebody that I could just like let all of my emotions out on and just hold and kiss and cuddle and snuggle. And it's amazing. It is amazing what our fur babies do for our mental health. He is always with me. He's with me 24/7. He follows me around the house. He sleeps curled up in my arms like a little baby. And honestly, I don't know what I would do without him. And animals are so loving. They don't judge you. It's unconditional. So with my particular mental health issues, I do have issues with as much as I love to cuddle, I also have issues with accepting love and feeling like I deserve love. And it's like unconditional love. I feel like I give it, but I don't really know how to receive it. And I don't sometimes really feel like I'm worth unconditional love. But Ollie has helped me with that because dogs, cats, rats, your birds, that's all they have to offer you is unconditional love. And having that unconditional love and having Ollie be with me just 24/7, taking care of him, grooming him, feeding him, all of these things, I feel like has really helped me grow and open myself up to love from other people. When I'm feeling anxious or depressed, he's right there. all the time, reassuring me and, telling me in his own way that I'm going to be okay and that he doesn't judge me for the days that I just cannot get out of bed. He does not judge me when all I can do is cry. He doesn't ask me, why do you feel this way? What set you off? Um, he just loves me. So I don't know if you guys ever feel like that with your fur babies, but I definitely do. And I know a lot of people are like, well, your fur babies and kids are not the same, or if you've never had kids, then you don't understand how they're not the same. Well, I personally, I disagree with that because I have two kids and I raised my kids and they're good children. They're self-sufficient. They have good moral compasses. Um, but I still don't have, it's not the same kind of relationship. My kids grew up. They moved out. They lived their own lives, and yeah, we're still close, but by the time your child is like 4 or 5, they do start pulling away and creating their own lives, and that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing when you give your children, the ability to feel confidence in their choices and allowing them that. But they don't hang on your apron strings anymore. And for somebody like me who does have the mental illness, I need to feel needed. I need to feel depended on. I need to feel like, somebody wants to hang on to my apron strings and follow me around. Because that makes me feel good about myself, and then it also makes me feel good to know that I mean, honestly, one of the most purest, special, innocent souls from the day they're born until the day they die. And I've got to give this amazing creature a wonderful life, full of loves, full of hugs, full of kisses. You know, I take care of, all of his vet stuff. I buy him good food. And I try so hard to give back to Ollie everything that he has given to me. And the thing about dogs is they don't even expect it. It's great when you do it. I mean, I know not all dogs get a wonderful life like my dog has gotten, but they don't even ask for that. They are completely giving, which makes you want to give back to them. So I've had other dogs um, in the past. I had Mangus, who I absolutely adored, but I was a teenager and I didn't necessarily always feel the same way as I do now. I mean, I love that dog to pieces, but I was also a teenager, so when you're that young, sometimes you're not always the best pet owner. You feed them and you water them, but you forget to give them that special extra love every day, which I never do with Ollie. And I have two other dogs because I am a dog lover. I have Odin and I have Sparta. And all three of my dogs have extremely different personalities, which I absolutely love. Um, but Ollie is definitely, I would call him my soulmate. Um, the day we got him, we drove 3 hours, and I've had him since he was a baby. I got him when he was 3 months old because he is a long-haired Chihuahua. They need to stay with their mothers longer. But we drove 3.5 hours to go get him. And the minute we set eyes on each other, it was just love at first sight for both of us. To the point to where on the drive home, I'm a nervous passenger, so I like to drive. So we get into the car and I get into the driver's seat and we get on the freeway and we're going. And little Ollie, he starts climbing up my, my husband's shoulder. And my husband's like, oh, look at this. It's so cute. He thinks he's a cat. And Ollie kept climbing up his shoulder and then climbed all the way up on top of, like, all the way up next to his ears. And he's like, oh, Andy thinks he's a rat. He's just going to sit on my shoulders. How cute is this? This is a long haired chihuahua. So this little guy is so freaking cute and tiny. So Ollie gets up on his shoulders. My husband's like, this is just the cutest thing. And then Ollie bunched up all of his itty bitty tiny little muscles and flew off of my husband's shoulder to land onto me. This little guy had already decided, this is my person, this is who I love. Um, Everybody else just know. So we had to pull over because I handed him back to my husband. He promptly did it again. So we had to pull over so that I could hold Ollie in my lap. And to this day, he loves car rides. He loves to go on the little car rides and check places out. But I can't drive. I cannot drive anywhere because he just says, no, that's not going to happen. I have to be on my mother's lap. If I try to drive, he will sit. Where'd my magnet go? He will sit on my husband's lap and just cry the whole time he is there. He's like, no, you're not my mommy. So I don't even bother trying to drive when we have to like take him to the vet or anything like that. We just had to take him to the vet the other day because he has CHF, chronic heart failure. He's had it for a really, really long time, but fortunately, because he lives on top of me, we caught it super, super early. So he was diagnosed with it when he was like 13 or 12, so 3 or 4 years ago. And he's got to go in for his echocardiograms. So we took him into the vet, and he's getting older now. So I decided that I was going to treat him. So I took him to my local coffee shop, Dutch Bros, and got him one of those puppuccinos that I had been reading about. And it was the cutest thing ever. I mean, he absolutely loved it. And it came with like a little bone inside. So after he was done with his puppuccino, he doesn't have very many teeth left because he's so old. So he can't really like bite down on bones. So he was just carrying it everywhere in his mouth. So we stopped and got him a puppuccino, and then we live like 45 minutes out of the town. So I had my therapy appointment after that. So we took him to the therapist, and he is just not letting go of this bone. It was just in his mouth. My therapist thought it was just the cutest thing ever. Um, so he loved the experience. And normally I am not about giving my dogs a lot of junk, a lot of things that are unhealthy for them. But he is getting up there in age. And it was like, you know what? Why not? Why not get him a puppuccino? He is in relatively good health though for his age. He's got the CHF, which is completely underneath control with medication. He had to have gallbladder surgery last year, and that was a little scary. Other than that, um, he's in really good health. He still dances for his food in the morning. He still gets the zoomies, which I love. Um, Now before I had dogs, I liked having rats because you don't have to pay a pet deposit before I bought a house. They don't ask for a pet deposit if you want to own a rat. So I don't know if any of you guys are rat owners, but they are super trainable and super nice. They are actually really fascinating pets to have. And they are super lovable also. So, if you're watching this, I would love to see, like, maybe what kind of support animals you like the most. What brings your heart joy and your mind, it brings that calmness, when you're sitting there with this little animal that you just love with all your heart and would do anything for, and you're just petting him, which ones give you that state of peace? And for anybody else with mental illness, especially with post-traumatic stress disorder, where you've got all those ugly thoughts that are just like going through your mind like a mile a minute, and you're like, part of your brain is like, shut up, none of this is true, quit lying to me. Um, when the icky part is like, oh, you're worthless, you know, stuff like that. Um, when I'm sitting there and I'm petting Ollie, I just concentrate on, how I'm loving for him. And he lowers my heart rate. He makes the shaky stop. Um, he makes it to where, that sick knot feeling that you get in your stomach when you're having like an anxiety attack. He makes that go away. I know a lot of people are cat lovers. I have never had a cuddly cat. Um, so I don't know if I could personally ever use a cat as like a mental health support animal. I know that some people do. I don't know if maybe they're just naturally a cat person and the cat can tell. I like cats, I like rats, I like all animals, but I definitely am a dog person. So if any of you guys have cats and you use them to help with your, you know, mental issues, or, as a calming effect or anything like that, do your cats like snuggle with you or cuddle? What kind of things do they do that make you feel comfort and safeness? And also, for those of you, so I don't like, how do you guys do when you're away from your support animals? Like, I had a family who was a family member, and he was dying of cancer. And I'm retired, and so I went to caretake for him until he passed. But it was like a 6 hours away. And I was busy like with caretaking him, and he had this big mean dog that I didn't want my little tiny Ollie around, so I had to leave Ollie at home. Man, that was rough. It makes me want to tear up, not only from losing my uncle, but just because I was going through this really, really difficult thing emotionally, because me and my uncle were just really super close. And having to deal with that without Ollie, it was devastating, and it made me realize, that as much as I think he helps me even more. And I know it was rough on Ollie too. When you've got these dogs or cats or rats or pigs, um, and you've reached like that complete just level of art, where basically you've become symbiotic. Um, it's hard on them to be away from us also. My husband reported that he wasn't eating as well. His fur was like kind of got a little like damp and just kind of droopy. He didn't have a lot of energy. So I know even when I was away from him, he struggled also with being away from me. So I guess I'm just, are there other people out there that just feel this incredible closeness with their animals? My husband and I, he loves playing zombie games. He like Days Gone is like his most favorite zombie game. Um, he came home one day and I had bought it and I was playing it and he took it over. He's like, my game now. And I'm like, no, it's my game. Anyway, so he loves the Days Gone. We're always talking about the zombie apocalypse and how he would be the king of the zombie apocalypse. And I'm like, you know how long I am going to last in the zombie apocalypse? 5 seconds. 5 seconds because my little Ollie, because you know how Chihuahuas are, he's going to be like, oh, I'm big and strong. I'm going to kick this zombie's butt. And he's going to go for this zombie. And I'm going to run right into that zombie trying to save my little dog. And then guess what? I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm going to be like, no, get away from my doggy. Um, she always thinks this absolutely hilarious. And it's like, except for I'm not joking. I'm really getting like trying to fight the zombies to get them away from my puppy. Um, so that's the kind of relationship I have with Ollie. Now I have Sparta, who is a Palm Chi, and he is so gorgeous. He is like this amazing cream color, and it just pretty like a supermodel. Um, he is what he's Palm Chi, so he's little. He's only like 9 pounds. But I always tell everybody I am pretty sure that Sparta is actually a Labrador Retriever. All right, this 9 pound dog tries to knock over the garbage can, has never been successful, loves the water. I cannot like take him up to the lake with me or anything because he just bails into the water. He's just like, I love it. I want to play in it. Loves the sprinklers. He'll bite on them. He loves playing fetch. And he is also my wall licker. So I did have my vet check him out because wall licking can be a sign of issues with your dog. And Sparta definitely does have like just some anxiety issues. So he licks a lot. Don't know where he got them from, but yeah, he has a little bit of anxiety also. Uh, so we do what we can for that. But he is definitely he is my silly, silly dog. He does the weirdest things. He gets into the most trouble. And honestly, I absolutely I love it. It is too cute, the trouble that he gets into. And I love him. I love him very, very, very much. Um, and then I have, and we call my dog Sparta Pekins. Do not ask me, I keep messing these up. Do not ask me how or where we got that from. I have no idea. Just one day, my husband started calling him Pekins, and now all of us call him Pekins. And he responds to Pekins. So, and then we got Odin. That one was actually kind of sad. So I got Odin. Where am I doing with these? So I got Odin um on sale. He is, AKC registered, but nobody wanted him. He was already 6 or 7 months old when I got him, but nobody wanted him because in order to breed or show a long-haired Chihuahua, they cannot be over 6 pounds. And he is a boy dog, and you do not want to mate a 6 pound male with a female. Anyways, that can kill the mother. So he was basically not show material and not breeding material, so nobody wanted the poor little guy. So they were letting him go at a discount. And I was like, well, I don't plan on breeding my dogs. I just want to love him. Um, and, you know, I had such a good experience with Ollie, and I had such a good experience with my Sparta that unfortunately I don't think I did enough research because I worry sometimes that Odin may have came from like a backyard breeder. Because this little dog, when we first got him, ran underneath the kitchen table, and there he stayed for like 3 months. We had to bring his water, his food, put a puppy pad. He was not moving out from underneath this kitchen table. So eventually he did get out from underneath the kitchen table, but it took years and years for him to allow anybody to pet him or love on him. At this point, because he is 14, at this point, I can pick him up. I can love him. He gives me kisses, but I always have to um, warn other people, he will bite you, if you try to touch him. So, unfortunately, I can't take him a lot of places because he's this itty bitty tiny little long haired chihuahua and he's just cute as a button. And everybody's always like, oh, can I pet him? Or they don't ask if they can pet him. And it's like, he's still a dog and he will bite you. So that part's always a little bit frustrating. And I always feel bad. But at the same time, I kind of feel like maybe it was kismet that we got him because with his behavioral issues, I really worry that, nobody had wanted to buy him because he was already deemed unperfect. I'm glad that I got him. Otherwise, he might have ended up like in an animal shelter, and he probably would have been rehomed so many times. Because I know there are some really good people in the world who will take in an animal that basically does have, because dogs can have mental health issues also. And my Odin definitely had some mental health issues, and a lot of people would just look at that and be like, "Oh, well, these are unacceptable behaviors." Um, and so I feel really lucky that I got him because I just realized he just needed to feel safe. With the rescue dogs, I know a lot of people take them home and they're like, well, this dog has issues, and it's like, well, yeah, he doesn't feel safe yet. It's gonna take time for him to feel safe and comfortable and loved, just like it does with us. Like if you've ever been like in foster care or anything like that, when you first get into the home, you're definitely kind of sketchy and you're like, all right, what's this one going to be like? But then you get more comfortable the longer you're there and the more safe you feel. So it is definitely, I think, the same for dogs as it is for humans. Um, with the fact that we need to feel safe, we need to feel secure, and we can work on that together, to learn that safety, to learn to feel comfortable, to learn that not everybody out there is going to cause you pain, or be deceitful, you know, especially when you've had, issues and you have been hurt and you have been let down or abandoned. It can be really, really hard to relearn that, and it takes time, so you should never apologize, you know, when somebody's like, well, I don't understand why you're acting this way, or, but I don't understand, you've got this and this and this and this, why would you be depressed? Or, I've never done anything to make you distrust me, so I feel like you should just give me your trust the minute that you meet me. And that's really negative thinking in my part, because, people that have been hurt multiple times, and I'm not saying you can use your mental health as an excuse to hurt other people. You definitely cannot. But people also do need to understand that people with, mental health issues will definitely take a little bit longer to warm up to you, to trust you. And that's okay. And that's one of the things that I love about my husband. He always supports me. So if you have watched this, I would definitely like for you to reach out in the comments. Let me know, you know, the kind of feelings that your DP buddy gives you, the support that you feel from your DP buddy, and how he makes your life better, or she makes your life better. Anyways, thanks for joining me today for my WIP and chat. Like and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. Have a good day. Bye.